I discovered them in the midst of their actions. Yet the reality was far more grim. A genuine tale of betrayal. He embarked on a journey through uncharted territory, immersing himself in tales of betrayal, a poignant narrative of infidelity. Welcome to the realm of concealed stories. If you're new here, we warmly encourage you to subscribe to our channel and express your support by giving this video a thumbs up. In a brief instant, a flame kindles inside, compelling us to craft richer narratives that resonate with the soul and awaken dormant desires. So, I beckon you to seize this moment, and together, let us explore the story that lies ahead. Never did I imagine that I would become enveloped in a journey so fraught with challenges. In a charming little town, I cultivated dreams of a life steeped in simplicity, and with open arms, I embraced the vibrant essence of youth. I joined forces with my college sweetheart, Michael, our hearts overflowing with dreams and aspirations. Even in the desolation that surrounded us, the bond we nurtured sparked a flame within, causing all else to blur into insignificance, or so I thought. In retrospect, the delicate clues of what was to come are now starkly clear. Yet, in that instant, the understanding surpassed anything I could have envisioned. As Michael and I crossed the threshold of the charming little house we had rented, it was in that moment that I met Mr. Whitaker, our landlord. The place may not have boasted opulence, but it encapsulated the spirit of our unspoken desires, a refuge for our concealed yearnings. It held a captivating charm, a charming garden, and a concealed backyard that stole my heart. As Michael and I stepped into this exhilarating new chapter of our lives, we were enveloped in unspoken desires and a sense of adventure that stirred deep emotions. Mr. Whitaker, a man in his twilight years, bore the weight of his experiences, a testament to the passage of time. His face exuded a comforting warmth, a perpetual smile illuminating our meetings. He was the kind of landlord who would make the occasional visit, his presence serving as a reminder of the fragile equilibrium between obligation and the unvoiced tension that hung in the atmosphere. The instant he appeared to repair the fractured boundary, a flicker of something profound ignited within me, an urge I found impossible to dismiss. His politeness enveloped us in a comforting embrace, each question regarding our needs a soft touch. As he reflected on the neighborhood's evolution, the casual conversation seamlessly intertwined with the passage of time, awakening something profound within us that was both surprising and perplexing. In that moment, it hardly made an impression on my consciousness. He was simply a kind, older gentleman, yet an undeniable spark lingered in the air, a tension that hinted at uncharted feelings and unspoken emotions, as a subtle shift began to unfold. With Michael often absent due to work commitments, the house transformed into a haven of solitude, enveloping me in a poignant blend of yearning and reflection. I bring those moments to a close. Mr. Whitaker appeared before me, shrouded in a veil of yearning and curiosity. He would show up more often than one might anticipate, occasionally to check on the state of the place, and at other times just to enjoy a fleeting moment together. At first, I thought it was harmless. In the end, he held the keys to the mysteries of our universe. As the days progressed, an unmistakable transformation started to intertwine with the essence of our interactions. One afternoon, while I was nurturing the blossoms in the backyard, Mr. Whitaker made an unexpected entrance, awakening a profound stir within me. His visits had become more frequent, and although I welcomed his company, there lingered an unsettling aura to his arrivals that I found difficult to dismiss. His kindness enveloped me like a comforting embrace, yet beneath that warmth lingered an undeniable essence that stirred deep emotions, leaving me both captivated and hesitant. On that fateful afternoon, he remained in the shadows, compelled by a silent yearning that stirred deep emotions within him. Our dialogue wandered through the ordinary, touching on the weather, the garden, and slowly delving into the profound currents of existence. In those ephemeral instances, I began to sense a captivating attraction to the subtleties of his character. "Is there a sense of joy that you discover in this place?" he asked that day, his eyes cutting through me, instilling a feeling of vulnerability that was as exhilarating as it was disconcerting. Uncertainty wrapped around me, ensnaring my thoughts in a labyrinth of unexpressed emotions. Though I held dear the moments spent with Michael, An unsettling chasm began to emerge between us, deepened by his unyielding commitment to work. There were instances when I felt an intense solitude, even while he was near, yet I hesitated to express that reality to Mr. Whitaker, not openly. I summoned a smile and nodded, striving to push the thought away, but Mr. Whitaker continued, unwilling to let it slip into oblivion. At times, he reflected, one might overlook the deep importance of having a confidant, of feeling the comforting embrace of sincere attention. Words hung in the atmosphere, infused with a fervor that stirred something profound inside me, sending a tremor along my spine. His words lingered in the air, resonating with a haunting intensity long after he had left. I attempted to brush it off, persuading myself that it was just a harmless interaction. But with each of Mr. Whitaker's visits, I became more aware of the subtle shifts in his behavior. His compliments, once airy and untroubled, now carried a weight that awakened something deep inside me, something I had long concealed. He would comment on my beauty, the way I tend to myself, and the attention I dedicate to our home. At first, I viewed his gestures as simple acts of kindness, but over time, it became evident that he was sensitive to subtleties that eluded those around him. One evening, as the shadows deepened and the air thickened with unspoken longing, Michael found himself far from home on a business trip. The quiet of the night wrapped around me as I settled into the couch, immersed in the pages of a book. Suddenly, the doorbell pierced the calm, and a wave of surprise washed over me. I hesitated in uncertainty before ultimately choosing to answer. As I turned the handle and stepped into the room, my breath caught at the sight of Mr. Whitaker, his smile radiating warmth and an unspoken tension that stirred deep emotions within me. He nonchalantly remarked that he was nearby, a mere pretext to stay a little while longer, to ensure that all was as it ought to be. I bestowed a gentle smile, stepping back just enough to allow him passage. His unanticipated arrivals had intricately intertwined with the threads of my daily life, rendering me unfazed by his existence. He entered the living room, and our dialogue unfolded, echoing the past, infused with an unvoiced tension that hung in the air. However, this time, a captivating tension enveloped the atmosphere. His gaze lingered with thoughtfulness, making me feel unexpectedly seen, evoking a blend of fascination and discomfort. It was a fleeting moment, a look that felt heavier than usual, layered with unspoken emotion, yet it set my heart racing with an exhilarating tremor. As we engaged in conversation, Mr. Whitaker moved closer, his presence kindling an unarticulated connection between us. The space that had kept us apart started to fade away, and his presence wrapped around me with an undeniable intensity. I remember the anxious chuckle that slipped from my lips at his utterance, a weak effort to conceal the disquieting tremors in my chest. I persuaded myself that his gestures were nothing more than simple acts of kindness, that my emotions were an exaggerated response. Yet, as if sensing my discomfort, Mr. Whitaker sat down nearby, keeping a respectful distance as we continued talking, kindling a flicker of unexpressed emotions that lingered in the air between us. "You know," he remarked, "it's a rare thing to encounter someone like you. A person exists who genuinely hears you. He is someone who truly values you." The words seemed innocuous, but beneath the surface of his voice lay a hidden tension, a delicate nuance that sent chills racing along my spine. An overwhelming desire to flee surged within me, to articulate my discomfort, but still, I chose to hold my tongue. Instead, a nervous laugh escaped my lips as I curled my legs tightly to my chest, longing to create a barrier between us, even if it was just a physical one. Mr. Whitaker perceived the shift in my demeanor, and for a fleeting moment, the atmosphere around us became charged with unvoiced tension. He looked at me, his eyes soft, but there was an unmistakable intensity hidden just below the surface that drew me in. He murmured gently, "I never meant to place you in this predicament. Your presence holds great significance, and I felt compelled to convey that to you. There exists a distinct allure within you, Lauren." The silence enveloped us, thick and palpable, and I longed to break it, to voice the thoughts that lingered unarticulated. But the perfect words slipped through my fingers, leaving my heart pounding in the quietude. I found myself trapped in a moment, a prisoner to the overwhelming intensity that surrounded me. Just as I was about to articulate my thoughts, Mr. Whitaker stood up. With a tender smile, he softly suggested, "I suppose I should allow you to return to your evening." Nevertheless, the smile possessed an air of mystery, a concealed profundity that slipped through my grasp. I felt a strong urge to connect, wishing to discover you in a good state of mind. I nodded, my throat constricted with unsaid thoughts, and observed him retreat from the house, each step laden with unquenched desire. As the door gently clicked shut, a breath I hadn't known I was holding escaped my lips. I stood by the door, ensnared in a tempest of reflections, wrestling with the profoundness of the moment that had just transpired. Never before had I felt such a chaotic storm of emotions raging inside me. A profound longing stirred within me, compelling me to unveil my secrets to Michael. Yet a veil of shame restrained me, immobilized by the dread of his scrutiny. It was never my aim to incite any discord. Fear gripped me at the thought of planting seeds of doubt in his mind or, even more troubling, inciting his wrath. As I delved further into my thoughts, I realized I could not overlook the profound emotions that Mr. Whitaker ignited within me. A sense of wrongness enveloped me, causing a moment of hesitation in my desire to nurture it. Yet, an unmistakable feeling persisted within me, hinting that his visits concealed truths far more profound than he disclosed. What course of action should I take? As the days unfolded, Mr. Whitaker's presence became increasingly captivating, intricately crafting a fabric of desire and unvoiced sentiments. Whenever he showed up, an all-too-familiar surge of chaos and unease enveloped me. I tried to brush it aside, but the burden of it became ever more challenging to ignore. His charm was irresistible, igniting a flutter in my chest and leaving me astonished by the depth of my emotions. I recognized the necessity for prudence, conscious that I could not permit the circumstances to slip from my grasp. Yet, I felt an unmistakable change beginning to awaken within me. I had no inkling of the profound depths that lay ahead of me. As the days turned into weeks, the silent yearning between Mr. Whitaker and me deepened, ensnaring us in a tapestry of unexplored feelings. I found myself concealing the truth from Michael regarding the strange interactions with our landlord. A persistent unease took root in my heart, a haunting worry that he might fail to comprehend the profoundness of my emotions or, more troubling still, that his response could spiral into anger and disillusionment. Ultimately, my motives were sincere, weren't they? It was just a light exchange, nothing more profound. Was it? Each time Mr. Whitaker unexpectedly appeared at the door, that mantra echoed in my mind, a desperate attempt to quell the unsettling feelings that stirred within me. Nevertheless, the unease had transformed into an unmistakable inhabitant within my heart. The memory of Mr. Whitaker's words lingered in my mind, a flicker of inspiration kindling within me. His fingers grazed the armrest of the couch during that visit, a delicate movement imbued with an unspoken tension, hinting at a connection that reached beyond the confines of simple neighborly exchange. In the reverberations of that moment, I became adrift, each recollection amplifying the yearning that simmered deep inside me. On that quiet Tuesday evening, I found myself in the kitchen, the steady cadence of my knife meeting the cutting board resonating through the stillness as I set about preparing dinner. My mind wandered as I stood in the kitchen. Once, cooking filled me with joy, but tonight it felt more like a weight than a refuge. My thoughts drifted to unexplored realms, a thrilling sensation wrapping around me, hinting that an unforeseen moment awaited just ahead. As I started to imbue the chicken with rich flavors, the ethereal sound of the doorbell resonated, awakening a profound sensation within me. My heart quickened with an unforeseen excitement. I looked out the kitchen window, and there he stood, Mr. Whitaker, lingering at the door, his familiar smile radiating warmth that stirred deep emotions within me. The days without him elongated, and rather than finding solace, a disquieting tension wound itself around my being, a testament to the silent bond we held. With a quivering heart, I wiped my hands on the gentle fabric, taking a deep breath as I neared the doorway. "Good evening, Lauren." Mr. Whitaker welcomed me with a warm smile as I entered the room. "I trust I'm not encroaching upon something of great importance." "Absolutely not," I replied, concealing my genuine emotions behind a forced smile. I stepped aside, granting him passage over the threshold, and he entered the house with a grace that was both thrilling and taboo, as though this moment was destined to unfold. He cast a quick look around, his eyes pausing briefly on the kitchen, where I had immersed myself in the art of preparing dinner. The atmosphere was saturated with a captivating scent, and he commented, his gaze resting on the dish I was crafting. "Your culinary skills are truly remarkable," I acknowledged with a nod, a swirl of uncertainty washing over me as I contemplated my response. "It's simply a humble dinner, nothing out of the ordinary." "You always say that," Mr. Whitaker chuckled, "but you possess a unique ability to turn the most mundane moments into something genuinely extraordinary." The compliment was pleasant, I suppose, yet it bore a significance that felt distinctly potent when it came from him. It resonated differently than the praise I had received from friends, or even Michael. His gaze carried a weight, as though he were peeling back the layers of my soul, revealing depths that went beyond the basic needs of sustenance or shelter. A surge of unease enveloped me again, but I struggled to stifle it, longing for something I understood was forbidden. "Thank you," I whispered, brushing it aside with a delicate gesture. "Do you find yourself yearning for something? It seems you've arrived with a desire to delve into something more profound. Haven't you?" Mr. Whitaker's expression flickered, revealing a profound yearning that lay just beneath the surface. He seemed to hesitate in a cloud of uncertainty before finally responding, "I've been reflecting, and I truly feel compelled to share something with you, if you have a moment. It seems as though ages have passed since we last engaged in a conversation of significance." My heart quickened, stirred by a surge of unforeseen emotions. Our meetings had consistently been marked by courteous interactions, yet we had never ventured into the profound realms of a truly significant dialogue. I felt his presence enveloping me more frequently, yet I never expected him to pursue a connection that explored the depths beyond the superficial. An unsettling tide surged within me, yet I found myself acquiescing. "Naturally, let us pause to forge a connection." I led him into the living room, my heart pounding as I gestured for him to take a seat on the couch. As I settled into that well-worn chair, the one that had become my sanctuary during our shared evenings, I cast my gaze across at him. Tension enveloped the room, thick and palpable, until Mr. Whitaker shattered the silence, his voice carrying a gravity I had never before witnessed in him. He began with a soft pause, expressing that he had been pondering the essence of existence recently, mulling over the significant changes that emerge as time flows onward. "I am the tempest that stirs within the routine of daily existence. It is all too easy to overlook the profound desires that dwell within us, to disregard the fervor that sets our spirits ablaze." A shroud of uncertainty surrounded me as I contemplated the path he was choosing. "I acknowledged your emotions," my voice tinged with a touch of openness. "In the midst of life's tumult, one can easily overlook the essence of what is truly significant." Mr. Whitaker nodded, his eyes searching the very essence of my being. "Indeed, it is essential to take a moment to pause and contemplate, making certain that we are truly engaging with life, rather than simply lingering in its periphery." His words sparked a profound yearning within me that I hesitated to confront, rendering me uncertain of how to reply. The air was thick with unspoken tension, stirring a mix of intrigue and apprehension within me regarding the depths of his suggestion. "Lauren," he murmured, his voice thick with a yearning that lingered in the space separating them, as he edged in ever so slightly closer. "Since the instant our paths intertwined, an unmistakable connection has formed between us, a distinctive spark that remains etched in my mind. Endless moments linger in my thoughts, revisiting our conversations, enchanted by the very essence of your being. Your essence enchants me in ways that are difficult to articulate, and my admiration for you is profound." A sudden gasp caught in my throat, rendering me momentarily without breath. His words, soft yet profound, bore the burden of hidden realities, awakening a deep resonance within. The manner in which he articulated those words sent a shiver down my spine, stirring a whirlwind of emotions that rendered me both elated and apprehensive. A tide of bewilderment enveloped me, trapping me in the intricate labyrinth of my feelings. My thoughts whirled, in pursuit of the perfect expression. Anything to lighten the oppressive tension that lingered in the air between us. In that fleeting moment, words escaped me, slipping through my fingers like grains of sand, as I exhaled a gentle, quivering whisper. Your thoughtful words are truly appreciated, Mr. Whitaker. Yet I must gently remind you that my heart belongs to another. My husband and I share a love that is both deep and cherished, a bond that resonates with profound significance. He seemed impervious to the burden of my revelation. Instead, he lounged in his chair, his eyes boring into mine, a mysterious expression flickering across his face. I understand, he murmured, his voice tinged with a subtle trace of regret. Lauren, I trust that my words won't place you in an uncomfortable situation, yet I can no longer overlook the intensity of my emotions. His words kindled a flame within me, stirring emotions I believed were long forgotten. His admiration had always lingered in the background, yet this time it awakened something profound within me, feeling the weight of his attention. A profound intensity lingered, a hidden depth that stirred something long forgotten. A mix of confusion and tension filled the room. This meeting had evolved into something far greater than simple neighborly worry. The conversation took on unexpected weight, stirring reflections I hadn't anticipated. I do not wish to stir any discord between you and your husband, Mr. Whitaker continued, but I feel a connection that I've struggled to fully understand, but I respect your boundaries. I felt compelled to unveil the profound emotions that reside within me, longing to share them with you. Words eluded my grasp. Adrift in the shadows of my heart's chaos, my lips parted, but the thoughts lingered, ensnared within me. The thought of inflicting pain upon him tugged at my heart, while the complexity of the moment made me reflect on the strength of our relationship. What actions should I take right now? How can I express to him that my heart is devoted to Michael and that I have no interest in pursuing anything outside the bounds of my marriage? Finally, I took a deep breath, my heart pounding fiercely inside me. Emma Whitaker, burdened by emotion, I conveyed, I value your candor, yet I feel compelled to articulate my sentiments with complete transparency. I am committed to my marriage and want to honor that connection, and I hold our commitment in the highest regard. Your kindness is truly appreciated, yet I feel it is important to clarify that my emotions are confined to the boundaries of our landlord-tenant relationship. A thick silence enveloped us, and I noticed the flicker of disappointment that played in his eyes. He looked down at his hands, a surge of unvoiced desire enveloping him, then nodded slowly, as if recognizing a truth that had been hidden for far too long. He spoke softly, a profound understanding echoing in his voice. I sincerely regret if my actions brought you any discomfort. It was never my intention to walk that road. I nodded, a surge of unanticipated relief washing over me. The atmosphere surrounding us became more buoyant, yet an uneasy sensation lingered, resonating with the silent desires that continued to tether us together. The heaviness of an unvoiced bond hung in the atmosphere, a ghostly echo of the irreversible changes that had taken place. Mr. Whitaker's feelings for me appeared to thrum just below the surface, unmistakable and relentless, no matter how much I tried to ignore them. He stood and I echoed his action. Thank you for listening, he murmured, his voice soft and imbued with a subtle yearning. I grant you the freedom to welcome your night. I want you to know that I deeply respect your boundaries, Lauren. I felt compelled to unveil the profound layers of my emotions to you. I veiled my inner chaos with a smile, hiding the turbulent emotions that bubbled just below the surface. Thank you, Mr. Whitaker, I murmured, my heart pounding with unexpressed emotions. Our paths will intertwine once more, won't they? As he crossed the threshold, I paused for a moment, staring into the emptiness he had vacated, a chilling echo of the events that had just unfolded. A whirlwind of yearning enveloped my thoughts, and my mind surged with urgency as I sought to grasp the profound intensity of the moment that had just transpired. I found myself ensnared in a dialogue with our landlord, even though I was tethered to Michael and the institution of marriage. What was happening, and why did it seem as though my whole being was gradually coming apart at the seams? I shook my head, striving to dispel the swirling uncertainties that clung to my heart. I sought to dive deep into my existence with Michael, to rekindle the fervor and commitment that had once intertwined our souls. Yet a quiet, enduring murmur within me suggested that this moment was merely the inception of something deeply significant. After my discussion with Mr. Whitaker, I found it difficult to shake off the entire situation from my mind. I felt an urgent need to protect my bond with Michael from the chaos stirring inside me, and the last thing I wanted was to weave our lives into a more intricate web with the landlord. Nevertheless, in spite of my attempts to stifle my feelings, they remained, stubbornly clinging to my consciousness. The burden of guilt and confusion wrapped around me, casting me into a realm of endless doubt regarding our bond. Days later, Mr. Whitaker returned, surprising me yet again. A surge of excitement swept over me as the doorbell chimed, constricting my heart in an unforeseen grip. Facing the tension was unavoidable. Though my heart quaked at the prospect of what awaited, I crossed the threshold, wrestling with the tempest of feelings swirling inside me. "Salutations, Lauren." He greeted me, his voice a soft murmur. With a sense of trepidation, I found myself compelled to inquire about the state of the house, my mind drifting to its comforting embrace and the cherished moments it encapsulates. I nodded, a smile fighting to emerge. "Everything is in order, Mr. Whitaker. I appreciate your inquiry." He seemed to hesitate in a fleeting moment of doubt before continuing onward. "I've been pondering profoundly on the sentiments expressed during our previous dialogue. It was never my intention to cause you any discomfort. I recognize your boundaries, and I hold them in the highest regard." An insatiable urge surged within me, compelling me to articulate the emotions that resided in the depths of my soul. As I gazed at him, time felt like it was stretching endlessly, and the gravity of his words enveloped me, awakening a profound sensation deep inside. In this very moment, it was essential for me to uphold my stance. Only the weight of longing remained, a clarity that cut through the shadows of doubt. "Your understanding is valued, yet I feel compelled to articulate my thoughts with clarity. I have pledged my loyalty to another. My heart is steadfastly committed to my union with Michael, and I must protect it from any allurements that might divert me from my path. While I appreciate the connection we forged in our professional endeavors, it is essential for me to set clear boundaries." Mr. Whitaker's expression softened, though a hint of yearning remained in his eyes. He nodded slowly, a serene acceptance enveloping him, as though my words had stirred deep-seated emotions within him that had remained concealed for far too long. His voice was gentle, a deep comprehension hanging in the atmosphere. "I sincerely regret any offense I may have inadvertently caused." I took a deep breath, feeling a surge of freedom envelop me. "Everything is fine. I deeply long for us to cultivate a shared understanding." He gave a quiet, respectful nod before turning away, leaving a palpable tension in the atmosphere. As he turned away, I remained in the doorway, my heart a whirlwind of emotions as I observed him disappear into the distance. A poignant ache resided within me, a lament for what had slipped away, yet a spark of appreciation flickered for the fresh boundaries I had bravely chosen to create. That evening, as Michael and I partook in our meal, an unforeseen surge of consciousness enveloped me, anchoring me in the present in a way I had never experienced before. The weight of the past few weeks pressed down on my heart, but within me stirred an irresistible desire to step forward into the unknown. I felt an irresistible pull towards the depths of my heart, where the warmth of my family and the connection with Michael glimmered like a flame, casting light on the love we held dear. "Is everything okay?" Michael asked, feeling the heaviness of my silence more acutely than before. I smiled, striving to dispel the lingering shadows of thought that clung to me. Indeed, I found myself adrift in a sea of contemplation. "Your return feels like a cherished dream that has finally materialized after ages of longing." His smile radiated warmth, and the gentle squeeze of my hand ignited a spark of something unspoken that lingered in the air between us. Coming back to this location awakens a profound feeling inside me. In that ephemeral moment, a sharp clarity cut through the tumult of conflicting emotions, unveiling a singular truth that I could no longer dismiss. A deep sense of duty stirred within me to protect the connection I had with Michael. With unwavering resolve, I was committed to ensuring that nothing and no one would obstruct our way, fully cognizant that, regardless of the challenges ahead, we would traverse this journey together.